You're listening to The Bible Guys, a podcast where a couple of friends talk about the Bible in fun and practical ways.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to The Bible Guys. Today's Monday.
Woohoo!
And we're excited.
Everybody loves Mondays.
Yes, we're excited to start a good week with you. And we're in the middle of a series about God's promises, and we're having a theme this week called God's faithfulness and unchanging nature.
Excellent.
Yes.
Super excited.
Yeah, remember that old hymnal? Great is thy faithfulness.
That's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
You remember what page it was
everybody's so happy that you sing.
Yeah. You remember what page it was on?
No.
I don't either.
No, I don't remember. 413. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty confident.
Our hymnals were different.
Yeah. So when you were a worship leader, did you lead from hymnals? Stand up and sing.
Wow. Okay. So here's a 30-second answer. I started off leading with hymnals, but my goal was to bring our church out of the olden times into the more modern times. So believe it or not, my good buddy who you know, Josh Eisenhart, we actually, ready for this? We ditched the choir. We sold the organ. Try doing that in a small Baptist church.
Right.
Sold the organ, added drums, added all band guitars and everything else, and then changed the sound system, and then added, the screens.
Man.
It wasn't iMag, but it was like, screens with words on them. So we did that, and we did all of that. And by the way.
In how much time?
Like a year and a half.
Wow. And then how long did you stay after that?
Well, listen to this.
Because there will be blood, and it will be yours.
During that time, we went from full suits and ties down to nobody in the whole church had a suit a year later.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
and you feel like that's better?
At the time, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it depends on your goal.
So how long were you there after you did all that?
Probably about. I was a worship leader for 3 years, so I guess another year and a half, and then I resigned after that. But it had nothing to do with that. In fact, I thought the church came along very nicely.
Nice.
I mean, it's a pretty good day when you could talk to the organist who had been playing the organ for 15 years, and then somehow leave her house in the evening and have her say, "You know what? I agree."
Wow.
And I sold it to New Song. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. The band New Song?
Yes. I know all about it.
For our listeners who may not know. Yeah. And we sold it to them.
Cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Good for you, man. Because that can be brutal, making that change back then.
Well, especially. What they always say, love covers a multitude of sins. So
and
I probably
just loved you.
They did, and I think I probably did it clumsily, but people knew the heart, so I think they followed because they love me.
Wow, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it's great. Yep. Hey, by the way, that ate into our segment time, but
what are we thankful for?
This is a wild segment.
This is a good one.
We've never had this segment before. It's called Character Switch.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, Jeff. It says you'll each take on a goofy persona, like a pirate, or ready for this, a Victorian schoolboy.
That one's you. You have to be the Victorian schoolboy. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Monotone AI.
Please, sir, may I have another? Remember that?
Oh,
that's from Dickens. It's like a Dickens character.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. And talk about something you're grateful for. So we got to talk about gratefulness, right? Last week was Thanksgiving for us,
right?
Live time, and then it says we got to do it in some weird voice. So what voice you want me to do? The Oliver voice?
Yeah, because I want to do the pirate.
Okay. You want to do the pirate? You got to use all the phrases, Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I used ChatGPT.
Oh, good for you.
I told ChatGPT what I wanted it to be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let me think. What am I grateful for? Okay, here we go. So you should have...
I love this.
This is so bad.
Go ahead.
So you should have seen my wife and I went downtown and we stayed at a hotel called the Whitney.
That's a nice hotel.
It was so nice. I couldn't believe it. I had a bed, some covers, and some heat. There you go.
That's great. I think we should just end there. I think that's fantastic.
No.
Yeah.
No, you've ramped us up for the pirate voice.
So I asked it to help me say what I'm happy for in a pirate's voice.
Okay. Did you tell it what you were happy for?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it says, I be happy for the good Lord guiding me ship, the wind at me back, me crew by me side, and another blessed day above the waves. Arr.
That sounds like SpongeBob. That's Mr. Krabs. You literally did
Mr. Krabs.
your best Mr. Krabs impersonation.
Lives in a pineapple under the sea.
Well, he's the one that always goes. "Arg, arg, 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 arg." Yeah.
Yep.
So
That's great.
good for you. Way to
Now
go.
that we have 3 listeners left.
Right, because who would want to stay tuned after that?
Oh, man. Well, we did the best we could.
Crazy, Desiree.
That's funny.
But thank you for the challenge.
Yeah.
We're always up for a challenge.
Talking about a challenge. You know what challenges me? The Bible.
The Lamentations. Oh, I thought you were going to say Lamentations. The Bible.
Yeah.
Lamentations is a very underread, underpreached about, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Because it's all about lamenting, isn't it?
Yes,
Jeremiah.
precisely. People love spending time lamenting.
Well, I tell you what, people actually do lament a ton.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like to read about other people's lamentations.
That's right. Well, he's a little miserable in here.
Oh, yeah.
So the book of Lamentations, just to kind of catch people up, the book of Lamentations was written by Solomon, the wisest man that ever lived, one of the wealthiest kings, one of the wealthiest humans that's ever lived, incredibly powerful, peaceful borders. Everything about his life was great, and he was miserable.
Yeah.
Because he had begun trusting in his wealth, he'd begun trusting in his own wisdom, he'd begun just kind of indulging in every physical pleasure that he could, and he started feeling like life was a waste, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote Lamentations. I'm thinking Ecclesiastes.
Yes.
Jeremiah wrote it. This is your opportunity. Go ahead, buddy. Say it. Say it.
Hey, I'm the Bible guy, and you're my sidekick.
Yes, there you go.
Yep. Hey,
you're right. It was the wrong guy. I was thinking Ecclesiastes.
But here's the thing: you know so much. You're so intellectual. To be honest, this is totally genuine. You have so much more knowledge than the average human that, as you said, Solomon, I know this is Jeremiah.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I go, "Am I wrong?" I'm like, I think this is Jeremiah.
I'm starting to make you question your own reality.
Like, yeah.
It is Jeremiah.
It is Jeremiah.
I know that.
Yeah. Ecclesiastes is, Solomon had written Proverbs, the Song of Solomon, and then Ecclesiastes. And Ecclesiastes is sort of a different kind of a book than the other two.
No, you're right.
And really, if you think about it, Lamentations is that to Jeremiah, really. So it's like sort of like the other book, isn't it?
So I'm going to pull a Chris and go, do you think we should go back and just edit this whole thing?
And then I'll say, no, people love it.
People love it.
People love it, Jeff. That's what you say to me.
So now you know.
Just be yourself.
Now
Jeff.
You know how good that feels, don't you?
Just eat a slice of humble pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where are we starting from?
I eat humble pie all the time. Well, we didn't make a decision
Well, I'm
about
not
that.
accustomed to that.
We didn't make a decision about that, but honestly, I would read verses 1 through 23.
Okay.
Because really, he sort of shifts gears, right?
Yeah.
So the first two laments of the plight of the city and then of the people, is sort of chapter 1, chapter 2. But then he sort of turns a corner and he talks about the hope in God's faithfulness, which is where our main promise comes from. And
Okay.
I would do that.
So it's kind of interesting. Can I tell you one more thing? I just read in the notes.
Yes.
I love these notes things.
Yep.
It says there's 66 verses in this chapter.
Yeah.
And it says in the original Hebrew text of this book, the first 4 chapters in Lamentations are acrostic poems.
Oh, wow.
So they start off with A, and then go to B, and then go to C, the beginning of each line of the poem. Yeah.
What?
Only not in English, but in Hebrew, right? So it's in their alphabet, and it says each verse in each chapter begins with a successive letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Lamentations 3 has 66 verses rather than 22 because it's a triple acrostic. The first 3 verses begin with the equivalent of A. The next 3 verses begin with the equivalent of B, and so on. And this was a typical form of poetry. So he wrote this whole thing as a poem.
Wow.
The first three verses are their equivalent of A. The next 3 verses is their equivalent.
A, B, 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 C, C, C.
Yeah. Isn't that neat?
Wow, that's
kind of cool. Very artistic. So Jeremiah, no wonder he's called the weeping prophet, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of an emotional guy. It's because he's an artist.
Well, are you saying that all of us artists are weepy?
Well, let's go ahead and get started.
Oh, whatever. You don't have to be an artist to be a weepy person.
No, I know, but I don't know many artists that aren't, is all I'm saying.
Is that true?
Very emotional. Yeah, you're tapping into a side of your heart and your mind, your emotions the rest of us don't tap into. That's where beautiful art comes from. It comes from the soul. You're just like bearing your soul for us.
Do you think that's why I cry like every day?
Yes, because you're an artist.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, I think so. Anyways.
I would not have attached my tears to artistry.
It is. You're a beautiful soul, Chris. Everybody knows that.
Well, thanks, Jeff.
Here we go. Verse 1 says, I am the one who has seen the afflictions that come from the rod of the Lord's anger. He has led me into darkness, shutting out all light, and he has turned his hand against me again and again all day long. He's made my skin and flesh grow old, and he has broken my bones, and he's besieged and surrounded me with anguish and distress, and he has buried me in a dark place like those long dead. He has walled me in, and I cannot escape. He's bound me in heavy chains, and though I cry and shout, he has shut out my prayers, and he has blocked my way with a high stone wall. He has made my road crooked. He is hidden like a bear or a lion waiting to attack me. He has dragged me off the path, torn me in pieces, leaving me helpless and devastated. He's drawn his bow and made me the target for his arrows. He shot his arrows deep into my heart. My own people laugh at me. All day long they sing their mocking songs. He's filled me with bitterness and given me a bitter cup of sorrow to drink. He's made me chew on gravel. He's rolled me in the dust. Peace has been stripped away, and I've forgotten what prosperity is. I cry out, my splendor is gone. Everything I'd hoped for from the Lord is lost.
Well, I'm sure.
Dude, I'm super glad we started at verse 1.
I thought the turn was quicker than this.
The thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss.
Here it is.
Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh every morning. And I will say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance. Therefore, I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who depend on him, to those who search for him. So it's good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. And it's good for people to submit at an early age to the yoke of his discipline.
I think you got to go to 33, honestly.
Let them sit alone in silence beneath the Lord's demands, and let them lie face down in the dust, for there may be hope at last. Let them turn the other cheek to those who strike them and accept the insults of their enemies. For no one is abandoned by the Lord forever. Though he brings grief, he also shows compassion because of the greatness of his unfailing love. For he does not enjoy hurting people or causing them sorrow.
That's a good place to end.
That's a good one.
So it did take a turn. I just thought the turn came earlier, but wow.
Yeah. Well, there is a reason why this book's called Lamentations.
Yeah, and no kidding, because that was about as lamentful as just about anything. You know what? If you were watching, by the way, on video, the lights just went out for lack of motion, but they turned them back on. And if you're listening, nobody cares.
Right.
But you know what I love? I've quoted this before. I remember on an Easter message. I remember I pulled this out. Goodness gracious, it was years ago. It was probably like 2011 or so. And I focused on the verse, number 21. Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this.
I love that.
I mean, think about it. It's like think about every discouraging thought you've ever had, every really bad experience, every desperate moment that you've ever gone through where you think God has either forgotten you, abandoned you, or even punished you. And you start to question, is there going to be any joy, or is there ever going to be any happiness in my life? And then he says, in spite of all those just really awful, lamenting thoughts, he said, I chew on gravel.
Yeah.
I chew on gravel.
Yeah.
Gee whiz. And then he says, yet I still dare to hope. I love it because I'm a dare kind of guy.
Yeah.
Double dog dare.
Yeah.
I dare you. I dare you to hope. I dare you to still serve God. I dare you to still believe in him and still be faithful. Rise up to the calling. And Jeremiah says, I dare to hope, knowing this. And then he goes, I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is his faithfulness. His mercies begin fresh every morning.
Yeah. Yeah, powerful.
Right? And of course, that is another hymn, right? Great is thy faithfulness.
Yeah, such a good one.
Great is thy faithfulness.
Morning by morning.
Oh, you didn't sing it. All right, that's fine.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. He didn't actually go through these afflictions.
No.
He was emotionally feeling them because the Lord let him see the destruction that was coming to Judah.
Right.
So he's one of the prophets. He's one of the major prophets. God used him and a few others to warn Judah that if you keep going down the same path the nation of Israel is going down, you are going to suffer the same consequences. They had abandoned the true God in heaven, and they began worshiping idols. They'd begun going through all of the horrible sadistic rituals and things that they were doing, and they were God finally, he warned them a bunch of times and then finally sent judgment. And the Assyrians came in and wipe them out. So now Judah is going down the same path. And so God's using these prophets like Jeremiah to say, don't do this, turn around. And God let Jeremiah see what was going to happen to Jerusalem. And so it's the agony of just knowing, what's coming next, that this is what just puts him into this horrible depression. But even then he says, I know God's not going to give up on us. Even then God's mercies, never cease. And in the same way that he offers mercy to everybody who's sinning, even when there's consequences, he does the same for Judah. And that's why he felt so confident to be able to turn. It's not always going to be horrible. And this is the difference, quite honestly, between those who are believers and those who are not, is we have the hope that people who don't know God don't have. And that is his mercies do endure forever, that he's not going to give up on us, that if we turn from our sin and we turn to him, he will restore us. And that's exactly the hope that Jeremiah had for Israel at the time. So, yeah.
Well, I love the idea that every morning when you wake up, your mercies begin afresh.
Yeah.
That God has a brand new day for you, but also a brand new bucket of blessings, a brand new, list of mercies. And I think that, the idea that God never changes too, right? Because this week's theme is not only his faithfulness, but his unchanging nature, right? So when it says great is his faithfulness, his love never ends, his mercies never cease, that is true back then, but it's also true now.
Right.
So thousands of years later, the Bible says that God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So just know that the promises even way back then can be claimed now, right? Jesus quoted the Old Testament and claimed the promises of the Old Testament. The Apostle Paul quoted the Old Testament. There were several other writers of the New Testament who quoted these promises, especially when it comes to the nature of God. So God will never, ever run out of mercies and will give us his mercies fresh every morning.
Life Application Study Bible note says, each day when we wake up, God's mercy greets us. No other faith has a fresh outpouring of grace each day. God always willingly responds with help when we ask.
Think about that. Think about that. No other, what does it say? No other faith?
No other faith
has
a fresh outpouring of grace each day.
Yeah, think about that.
Yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it? Because when people talk about the different faiths of the world, and they say, hey, don't all roads lead to heaven? And Jesus made the claim, right, in John 14:6, mm-hmm. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through me. And if you think about all the different ways that, different faiths communicate getting to heaven. Some faiths say, you got to jump through hoops. Yeah. You got to be part of a special group. You got to be selected. You have to be, you have to perform, right? But God says, no. Like, everybody's fall short. I'm going to pay the price for everyone. Yeah. And he says, Romans 10:13, for all who call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So everyone is invited. Everybody gets in, and then he says he's going to give us mercy. And so it says ours is the only faith. Christianity is the only faith.
Yeah, my wife and I were talking about this the other day. That we were making a joke. She helps oversee my calendar, both my office calendar and our home calendar. She works in our office, and so she mentioned something, and I said, I don't know. I didn't even look at my calendar for tomorrow. She said, why didn't you look at your calendar? I said, I never look at my calendar until the day of. She's like, why? and I said, because tomorrow's problems are tomorrow's problems. I spent all my time. Do you ever see, here's a callback. Do you remember the Carol Burnett show?
Oh, wow, yes.
Okay, do you remember at the end of the show, there was like that little cartoon ending, and there's a big parade going, and the elephants are there, and then there's a guy behind, and he's just got the little shovel, and he's got the thing.
Yeah. And he's with the big can. Yeah, he's got the big mustache.
Yeah, he's got the big mustache, and he's just shoveling up all the mess that those elephants left. The parade was amazing.
Right.
It was, but somebody's got to clean up the mess. I feel like that's most of my life, is I just walk around with the shovel, right, behind all these elephants in the big parade.
That's so funny.
And so what I love about this, his mercies are new every day, is I don't need God to solve all of my tomorrows, right? Because I'm not living in tomorrow, I'm living today. And there's a lot of peace in that when you just go, okay, God, you're in charge of today. And then when tomorrow is today, you'll be in charge of today again, because his mercies are new every morning. And then the fact that I know this, my past is gone. He says, what sin are you talking about? right?
Mm-hmm.
My sin is as far as the east is from the west. It's as deep as the deepest sea. God says he chooses not to remember my sin anymore, right? So anything that I regret in my past, it's over. It's in the past. I don't need mercy for yesterday. He forgave me yesterday when I asked. And then today, his mercy is good enough for me today. It's all I need. And then when tomorrow is today, he'll give me his mercies again. It's every day refreshed. I'm not relying on yesterday's mercy, and I'm not hoping for tomorrow's mercy. I just need today's mercy.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, too, that the technical definition of the word mercy is God not giving us what we deserve.
That's right.
Right? So if we deserve punishment, if we deserve judgment, if we deserve hell, if we deserve eternal separation, if we deserve, whatever it is, right? Chastisement, God chooses not to do those things. And he spares us because he loves us.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes in the scripture it says he spares us because Jesus paid the full price and the weight of our sin. So because that price has been paid, God spares us from that punishment, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a difference in grace and mercy. Grace actually gives us what we don't deserve, right? Which is God's love, God's faithfulness. It's the first half of that verse, right? God's love and his faithfulness endures. What does it say? It says the faithful love of the Lord never ends.
Right.
So he gives us what we don't deserve. That's called mercy. But then he doesn't give us what we do deserve. Oh, I messed that up. Good gravy. I said it backwards.
Keep going. You can do it.
Hang on. I said
do it again.
He gives us what we don't deserve. That's called grace.
That's right.
And then he doesn't give us what we deserve, and that's called mercy.
That's right.
So it's grace that
Nailed
favors
it.
us and mercy that spares us.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Good job. That's the.
Get through it.
No, it was good. So then it's interesting because it says the Lord's good to those who depend on him and to those who search for him. And so a lot of times what we feel like is God's good to those people who are particularly good boys and good girls. The church kids. Right? And that's not the threshold God puts in place. God says, are you depending on me? And are you searching for me? And so we can all qualify for that. Regardless of what our past is, regardless of our current mistakes, we can all be searching for God. We can all be depending on God. And he says, so it's good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. And I think there's something to that. A lot of times when life is getting full of pressure, when we're feeling guilty or when we're feeling stressed or when we're feeling like we can't cope, what we want to do is rush in, make a whole bunch of big decisions, just go ripping and tearing, trying to solve a thing. And Jeremiah is saying, hey, when you're under a tremendous amount of pressure, whether it's pressure from yourself or pressure from God, pressure your circumstances, he says it's good to wait. And I've always cautioned, I just had conversation with some family members about this. Don't make a decision while your decision maker is broken. Mm-hmm. It's okay to wait. God's mercies are new again today. He'll take care of you today. He'll protect you. His faithfulness is great. He's not going to forget you. Don't go rushing in to make some decision that doesn't have to be made today. If your decision maker is broken, don't make it. Just wait on the Lord. And then the Lord will close the doors that need to be closed. He'll open the doors that need to be opened if you're depending on him and searching for him. And instead, most of the time, people make mistakes and they ruin family relationships or they ruin business opportunities or something because they're in a hurry. They feel like they got to do something right now. A salesman saying, you got to buy it right now. Do it right now. And we just feel this instant pressure to do something right now. But if you're depending on him and you're searching for him and you're waiting quietly for him, he'll give you the solutions.
That's
every
great.
time.
That's great. Hey, that is our time. So that's a great thought to wrap up with, I think. And so hopefully we will see you tomorrow on the Bible Guys.